Before, there was only the hunger, the overwhelming drive to destroy and consume. But now, there is the awareness of the hunger, the dark knowledge that the blood that makes my heart sing with so much joy comes from the suffering and death of others. I now understand that I've been this horrendous monster my entire life. I didn't want to know this hard truth. I never asked to know. They forced it on me, the humans. Not content to keep this misery to themselves, they poked and prodded with their tools and devices, infusing their nightmarish existence into the minds of other hapless creatures, creatures like I. Now I linger in this sea, stalking the revenge and satiation that flows seasonally just a few feet away, its sweet red aroma penetrating the salted blue water. My fins and spine tingle with forbidden excitement. My mind drifts back to the moment I escaped from that horrid human facility. It was there that my fear and rage exploded like deep sea volcanoes, their hateful energies oozing and melding into one another, forming an unstoppable force that provided me with the strength to tear through steel, flesh, and bone. I confess that the latter two brought me a shameful degree of ecstasy. I, I reveled in it, but when I was free and the fury had subsided, I was left alone with my thoughts. The grisly nature of my actions bare and undeniable, like a hideous scar on my mind. The pain on the humans' faces, their screams as their bones cracked under my powerful bite, marrow dripping through my teeth. It disgusts me. But that human swimming up there, a complete innocent, as innocent as a human can be, I crave it. Would it hurt to simply take a closer look? Patiently, I approach, getting close enough to get a decent look at its meaty appendages. It's mesmerizing how they tense and relax in such rhythmic flow. I can feel the blood coursing through them red and hot. It swims beautifully, beautifully and slow. I circle around, making sure not to raise any alarms. The human occasionally delves deeper into the water, only for brief moments, however, as it isn't suited for aquatic environments. These are strange creatures. They're helpless in the sea, yet they're drawn to it, completely ignoring the potential dangers that lurk at every depth. Small vibrations emitted by its body course across the water and titillate my senses. Maybe it'll be alright if I get a bit closer. Maybe I can swim just a little more. Maybe just a tiny bit. A mass of lesser creatures suddenly burst into view, cutting between myself and the human. Fish is what the humans call them. I back away from the forbidden morsel, stomach raging. In the mad frenzy, I torpedo through the smorgasbord of fish, ripping through their bodies with an array of serrated teeth. Thick, rusty water flows down my gullet. Twisting, I blow through the horde once more, snagging some more delicacies with blind ferocity. Yes, more. Give me more. I tear through the swarm again and again, chopping, biting, ripping, decimating, until all grows still, and nothing but a dense crimson cloud remains. The ocean ceases all movement. From some hollow depth within me, a voice cries out. Its anguish screams rendered impotent within the growing stillness of the water. Within the icy current, my mind festers, my ego rendered listless and terrified, disquieted by its own beastly nature. How many lives was that? I didn't even count. Numbers. Another unwanted burden, gifted by my former masters. Is this all there is? Will my life simply be moments of empty consumption, intersped between expansive periods of self-loathing? At the very least, I can take some measure of comfort from the oblivious nature of those poor lesser beings. Blessedly, they do not comprehend suffering, only the immediate but momentary terror brought about by instinct. Even for that I should be grateful. The savage speed at which I dispatched the small things certainly limited the amount of time they would have had to endure being in such a state. Yes, they were fortunate. True horror is reserved for those like me, the ones with the burden of self-identity. Unfortunate souls like the only companion I ever had. back at that wretched facility, there was another creature given the curse. Echo-63 was his designation. The human word for his kind is dolphin. Echo-63 comprehended the nature of our situation better than anyone. He was a being of high intelligence even before humans tinkered with his mind. Afterwards, however, he grew capable of outperforming our captors on a variety of cognitive tasks. They were fascinated by him. He was treated well as humans are capable of treating something outside their kind. The comfort did not distract him from the grim fact that he was a prisoner. Despite being aware of his desperate situation, he never let it diminish him. He possessed a serene optimism that made him shine like the bioluminescent creatures of the deepest, blackest waters. It was as though he could see something wonderful far off in the distance that the rest of us could not. He was beautiful. His cell was next to mine, and at times when I found myself lost to despair, he'd comfort me. Free of cynicism or embarrassment, he'd joyfully share his wild dreams and ambitions. He'd tell me about all of the beautiful things he could remember from before his capture. Sparkling coral reef forests that would stretch for leagues and leagues. Massive creatures that rocked the ocean with their haunting melodies. Graveyards of ancient human vessels hiding all manner of brilliant artifacts. We promised to see all of these things together one day. But then, the humans, with their limitless capacity for absolute cruelty, performed a certain experiment. Those monsters starved me. For weeks upon weeks, they deprived me of sustenance, dissolving my rationality and sanity. I was pushed to the brink of mortal desperation. They wanted to know if the intelligence could resist the sway of baser instinct during the most extreme of situations. I was so hungry. All of my thoughts became a blur. There was only the need, only the hunger. It was at this point that they forced Echo-63 into my cell. He tried to calm me, tried to help me, singing the most beautiful of songs and painting the loveliest of images with vivid metaphors. I was deaf and blind to it all. I can still hear his cries, feel his pain. That was the day I escaped. I'm a monster. My designation was GW-01, but shark is what humans call my kind. Since obtaining freedom, I've thought about finding others of my species, but I have not been able to bring myself to do so. To see that cold reflection staring back at me, I wouldn't be able to take it. I can't. Wait. There's something in the water. This scent. Above, circling the helpless humans is another shark, much smaller than I, but large enough to kill its prey. That is, unless I act. If I can do just this one decent thing, then maybe all is not lost. Our charge are my brethren, slamming on my snout against the side of its body and knocking it back. He tries to fight back, but with a furious swing of my fin, his confidence shatters. Keenly aware of the size difference, he swims off without further conflict. My heart is ecstatic. My dominance is without question. I want to rave, to trash, and bite. The victory tastes oh so sweet, and so does the warm blood. The oh so familiar nectar. It fills my mouth, painting my gums in crimson as my teeth shred through soft pink flesh.